What's up, everybody? Welcome back and good morning. This is another episode of Investing Bros. It is Friday, July 21st of the year 2023, and it is a Friday, guys. We're going to keep things positive, even though that title is kind of leaning a little bit more negative. I want to just go ahead and say it right now. We'll cover on later in the show. I still see a lot of things to the upside for Bitcoin, but we do not want to ignore when things come in that are a little bit negative. But you got to go ahead and wait on for the rest of the show to hear more about what that is. Hint, hint, though, the thumbnail kind of has a little bit of a clue. It involves old Elon Musk. But before we get there, make sure you guys go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're quickly growing here, guys, and I don't know. We're going to be pushing it kind of close here to hit our 4,000 subscriber goal by the end of July. We're sitting currently, what is our current number? I got to check it again. I think it's 3,745. All right, so we still need about 255 more subscribers here in the next 10 days to hit our goal. And here's the thing, guys. Once again, if we can get the likes up today to 150, we will be giving away 2 free memberships. If we get 20 subscribers while we are live, we'll give away 5. Make sure you go tell your friends right now. Share this link on all of your socials. Let's get some more people in here and grow Investing Bros. But first, I am going to introduce my co-host today, Mr. T. Shroom, the Florida man. How are you doing down there in that? It's hot here in Georgia, but I got to assume Florida's even worse. T. Shroom, how you holding up?
It is not worse because I don't really go outside too much. I mostly stay inside. And,
True.
you know, if I am doing outside things like going for a run, which I do, or I'm supposed to be doing on a daily basis, it is quite warm. So I'm doing better than I deserve, though, generally, Tim. So, you know, I got to keep that in mind for sure. So taking a look here at the quote of the day, we've got a good one for you, and you're gonna want to bring the kids around because this is a good one for the kids. This is from Tater from the movie Cars, and the quote is,
There we go.
"I'm happier than a tornado in a trailer park." So that is going to be your quote of the day there, folks. Nothing better than a nice throwback to the movie Cars. What do you think, Tim?
I'm a big fan of Tater.
Beat that.
It's like a potato without the puh, you know. It's not Tater, it's Mater, because I would say that's not the right quote. It's Tomater. His name's Mater because it's Tomater without the tuh is what it is. So
there you go.
You're throwing us off early. Well, I do have the thought of the day brought to you guys by Dwight Kurt Schrute. Go ahead and go to my screen here. People underestimate the power of nostalgia. Nostalgia is truly one of the greatest human weaknesses, second only to the neck. So got that great alpha. Oh, I guess they couldn't see the whole quote. Got a great alpha from Dwight Schrute. You know, it's true. It's true. The neck is a weakness. You guys can see right now, Tim, how much neck do you see on Tim right now versus how much neck do you see on Shroom? Which one's the weaker one? You know,
Vulnerable.
According to Dwight, you're very vulnerable this morning. Dwight's coming after you. But speaking of new things here, couple different things. You guys can see I get to stand, so I can do mid show squats. I love this. Get to keep my energy high. T Shroom, I am loving this new background. Why don't you walk us through it? What is happening back there?
I would be glad to do just that, Tim. So if you look over here to this side of the screen, you will see one of my favorite memes, which is the girl in the back seat, and she's just got the perfect expression based on the situation that was going on. And then below her, you'll notice that I have the logo from the company Enron, which is a famously bankrupt energy company out of the Midwest. That there'll be a lot more stories to tell about that. And then directly behind me, you'll see an empty slot right here for anyone who wants to put their NFT and replace the hideous image of Pepe. And then also we've got the T Shroom logo there that you can put in the chat right now if you're so inclined to do so. And then right over here on this side of the screen, we've got a Claymation CNFT, which is pretty cool. I like it because it's got the little Shroom earrings. And then you'll also notice a banana taped to a wall, which is the peak of artistic expression. Now, what I will say is that all of these placements, including the Pepe in the background, are temporary. And you yourself and your NFT could be featured here on the back of the wall. All you have to do is @ me on Twitter or go ahead and go into the Discord and either reach out to me on DM or go into one of the channels, probably the NFT channel, and we can take it from there and make it happen and get your NFT featured here on the T Shroom art gallery that is behind me. And, it was expensive to build this gallery behind me, so we want to make really good use of it. Tim drove down from Atlanta, and we spent hours building this and painting it and getting the lighting just perfect. So
the construction too of the multiple walls was definitely very fun to work with as well. So
my landlord's not too happy about this addition because I did not get a permit for it. But hey, in Florida, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
You have like an 1,100 square foot apartment. That looks like that's 1,100 square feet directly behind you. So I don't even know how we fit it all in the building, but it was, dedication. Yeah. Dedication gets the job done. Well, guys, let's go ahead and transition here. We're going to get into some crypto stuff, but first we got to engage with you guys here in chat. So let's do some reading of names, and then we'll kick it off.
Let's do it.
Mellow Fellow was number one, saying GM and MG bros. So Mellow Fellow reclaiming his rightful throne as the number one commenter, but Cryptex right behind him. 2 blue wrenches coming in first and second. Mr. J coming in third this morning. Eric Wallen is here. Gia S is here, which, by the way, guys, that's another thing. If you want to see Gia S be a subscriber, she's already a subscriber, I would assume. If you want to see Gia S be a moderator, we're going to start doing every time we hit a new 1,000, we will add another moderator. Gia S is first in line. Mike Volmer, let me know, what do you guys think? Because Mike Volmer asked, I think we should make it a public vote here. Who's going to be the new mods every couple thousand? But Gia S is the next on the queue coming in when we get 4,000 subscribers. So go Gia. Who else do we have here this morning? Crypto Ben Franklin is here. Everyone's favorite non-president. Steve B dropping some bacon in chat. You love to see it. Dustin Singer is here. Crypto Pew Pew Cruz is here this morning as well. Yair Navarro, Justin Eubanks, Ninja Glock, Nancy Croy, Josh Denham, D-Gen Tolman, a.k.a. Rick Wilson is here. Bedridden with the Blue Wrench is here. Curtis Rorick, Max PP, Mike Play, everyone's favorite hater, Jack Meoffer is here. 16 unemployed people in here waiting for the bores. Don't bore us. Get to the chorus. Ooh, Jack's got the rhymes this morning. Oh, you love to see it. Susan Shrum is here. Oh, Susan Shrum.
Big Suze coming in strong. Gotta love it.
All right.
Love you, Mom.
I don't know if I'd ever refer to my mom with a nickname based off her first name. I don't know. Let's see here. Andrew D1428 to be specific is here. Who else do we have? Mike Vollmer. Speaking of Mike Vollmer is here again. Let us know. Is Mike Vollmer the mod for 5,000? You got to tell us in chat. Let's get 3 more names here. Al Bundles Crypto Trappa is here. That's 1. Van Physiolato is here. And the last one we're reading for the day is going to be Poppy. That is all the names we have today, Poppy. Guys. If I think I got most names in here, but if I did not get your name, it is not because I don't love you. It is simply because it is time to go in and move on with the rest of the show this morning. I do think that we have a problem, T-Shroom, that we have not had a technical difficulty yet.
Yeah, something is weird. But I will say,
know why.
We have a guest coming up at the end of the show that you guys are not going to want to miss. Crypto Grinds is going to be bringing us our DGen picks of the day, of the week.
Yes.
Really, because we only do this on Fridays, DGen Fridays. And Crypto Grinds is going to be filling that space today and filling that place in your heart for a nice DGen play as we start to gear up for the bull market moving forward. So definitely be staying tuned, and let's have some fun a little bit later in the show with Crypto Grinds. Looking forward to it.
Eric Wallen says that it won't let him super chat or gift, which is weird. Because it is giving me that option. T-Shroom, do you see that option under your
I
side?
have not tried that. So I will have
you
to
see the dollar symbol down below. That should be all you need to see.
It's looking like I'm able to do it.
All right. Well, I don't know why that is, Eric Wallen, but I thought some of you guys might have known. I think we turned off monetization today because ads are always interrupting our show. but that should still allow super chats and gifting of membership. So if anyone else has that problem, please let us know in chat. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump on into our economic outlook. We're going to go on through this. Starting off, let's go to my screen here with our friends across the pond this morning. They did get a very favorable number coming in with their retail sales up 2.7. This is very good for the British economy. But I do want to know, the previous 0.1, consensus 0.2, and the forecast 0.1, you guys might need to rehire some predictors over here, because that's nowhere close to what the actual number ended up being. Do better, Great Britain. I think that's about it for this week. Anything major we have leading into next week? I don't think that anything up until the Fed interest rate decision next Wednesday is going to be anything major. We'll keep you posted if I look into this anymore and see anything else I like.
disagree. I think that the 30-year mortgage rates could be pretty good, but I mean, they're not going to move the market in a big way, but that'll be good to track.
My cheat sheet is looking here for all of my highlighted ones as well. So that's one of my cheat sheets. Let's keep moving on, though. Let's look at Bitcoin and crypto liquidations. Bitcoin does lead the way with 189,000 long liquidations. That's not so not a very big deal. Really, nothing was liquidated yesterday. Gala, though, coming in second. Haven't seen that name up here in a little bit with 164,000. Solana, XRP, XLM kind of bringing up the rear here with some short liquidations that should have moved price to the upside, but nothing of real consequence when it comes to liquidations. We are back up a slight tick, up 0.05% in Trueflation. Again, nothing major, just something to keep your eyes on, and nothing is changing here either. We are still predicting now in 5 days we will get another 25 basis point rate hike here in the United States, and the expectation is still we will not get a rate cut until March of 2024. So nothing to update there either. Let's keep moving on with our Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, today brought to you by Algorithmic Stock Picks. It's been a minute since I saw those ones, and it looks very boring. I don't even know what I'm really looking at there, but thank you to Algorithm Stock Picks, I guess. We are back down at 50 here on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. We talked about this the other day. This is at the moment, 50 is kind of low. We're seeing that 50 kind of match with this bottom support we're seeing over on Bitcoin. So nothing really to fuss about, nothing to worry about. Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is kind of still holding up normal. So as a whole, not a very eventful economic outlook this morning, but let's move on and take a look at the crypto market as a whole. And I guess I had gone to most recent wins and losses. Let's start off here. Nothing necessarily that big within the last 24 hours, except for Dogecoin up 9.27%. And by the way, that's part of the reason why we have the title the way we have it. Old Elon Musk definitely is in the news. Tesla's in the news for something that might not be the best for Bitcoin. But again, you got to wait for a little bit later to see that. But some of you might already know, Dogecoin up 9.2%. I'm going to save that information, though, for later. Let's take a look at the biggest gainers and losers. We're definitely going to be doing some Chainlink TA today. I think I see JT Skinner in chat. He is going to be very happy. He is a massive Chainlink fan. I like Chainlink as well. So does T Shroom, but we don't do TA on it that often. So today, definitely going to get that in. Also, we have Maker up 17%. XDC Network, going to be real with you guys, don't really know what that one is, up 16%. Synthetics is up 13%. Stellar still having a good run, and again, outpacing XRP since the last announcement. Said, let's go look at the 7-day real quick. Maker's the biggest one so far with that XDC as well. Synthetics, Chainlink up big. But this is the big one I want to see. So where is XRP? I guess XRP is not even up here on the top. XLM outracing XRP. Very, very interesting stuff. Let's take a look at our biggest losers, though, here over the last 24 hours. Rocket Pool coming in at 9.28% down. Multiverse X, eGold is down 6%. GMX down 6%. Sui, after it had a little bit of positivity, is back down 5% in the last 24 hours. Other noticeable, Monero. Oh, there we go. XRP. Instead of making the top gainers the last 24 hours, it's making, top 10 of the biggest losers. Solana also joining that list, most notably. Oh, and Pepe. But let's keep moving on here. It is time to jump into our charts. What time do we have right now? 9:15. We might run even a little bit longer with TA today because it is a little bit lighter of a news story day, but then we still have our stock market open, and we will have a short one or two stories just to cover in brief. Let's take a look at what's happening here with Bitcoin. Let me pull down my oscillators for just a second and move back up. Let's go to the 4-hour chart starting off here. Now, Bitcoin, right now, we're still holding these candle body closes above this, as Piper has coined it, the T box, the Tim box. There's a reason why this is a significant level of support, and 29.7 continues to be that key support on Bitcoin. Can we hold or will we lose it? Again, this is one of those things that we're watching and saying, yeah, you're on support. It's a great place to invest a little bit more, but we absolutely definitely could be falling down. Let's take a look at what's happening even with our oscillators on these lower time frames. One thing I will say that is positive is when you see these flat bottoms here on the closing candles on the 4-hour chart, yet at the same time our oscillators are rising. That is, ladies and gentlemen, what we would call weak bullish divergence. Weak divergence because it's not as strong as strong divergence, and that's when one of the oscillators or the price actions are kind of closing at the exact same level. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it is something to cling to here on the 4-hour chart. But the problem here is, and this is another reason why the title is the way that it is, this is not looking good for Bitcoin. Yes, we have a couple more days here, guys. We have all of Saturday, and then we have Sunday until about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to change this. But on the weekly chart, I've told you at the beginning of this week that this week was very important for Bitcoin. And the reason for that is that this, some people have already called bearish divergence. I told you I was holding off, even though we had one red candle. I wanted to see if this momentum of green weekly candles would continue. Well, at the moment, if we were to close right now on this video, we would have a second red candle here, to me confirming that while the oscillators and the RSI is moving to the downside, we did have a slight uptick in candle body closes. Guess what that is, guys? That is reversal bearish divergence on the weekly chart. So we still have a couple days to change my mind to say that this momentum is still moving to the upside. But if it were to close today, this would be a negative sign for Bitcoin, would probably be a sign that more than likely we're coming back down to retest this $28,000 level, probably making our way slowly back towards this blue line. It's still bullish long term, and then we get a bounce once again. But a lot of people are still sitting here. I told you guys, I'm still believing that we're going to see a 36K Bitcoin before a 25. I think both prices will happen eventually, but I do think it's a bullish push first, then a bearish push. Let me know in chat what you're thinking. Bitcoin making a slight move really right now as we're speaking, but nothing necessarily crazy. Let me automate this. Yeah, we're moving back up. Do not want to be drawing. Got to change back out of my marker. Nothing necessarily crazy happening there. Let's take a look at the hourly chart just to see if there's any support down here. We are recently bouncing. We don't have the bullish divergence. That's not bullish divergence because these candle body closes are higher, but it does look like we're picking up some momentum, crossing these mid levels on the oscillators. That's a good sign for right now. But again, you're not really going to get that high before the 1-hour oscillators get overextended. I want to see some of that happen on the larger time frames. Let's take a look at some of our indicators. We will have an order block sitting above us, back up here around 30,400. Actually, multiple order blocks all the way up to about 30,500. So that could be a little bit of a magnetic pull. However, here, let's go back up to the 4-hour chart. I'm going to be keeping my eyes here on the dynamic reactor on the 4-hour chart, as well as this number 2 daily strong resistance sitting right here at 29,900. Definitely keep your eyes on that. If we were to fall, though, again, if all of the negativity comes in, holy crap, we just shot up to 160 people watching right now. I'm going to take a quick pause and say smash the like button and subscribe so that we can give away some free members. Even if you don't know who we are, you're just joining in, just trust me, do it. Everyone will love you and appreciate you. Back to the charts, though, really quickly. Watch for levels down here. If we end up losing the 29.7 on Bitcoin, we're looking at 2 different very strong levels of support. This, of course, is in chart primes, multi-time frame support and resistance. My orange lines are my 4-hour, the green are 12-hour. We are seeing 2 very strong levels kind of coming at the same spot here at about 29,300 or so. That's a level that I think if we start making a move down, we'll probably hesitate for a second at. And then again, I told you, if we lose 29.7, I would expect, guys, we're more than likely coming back down to some previous peaks and probably finding support on the rising blue line here on Bitcoin. That's what we're seeing this morning right now. There we go. We're up over 170 people watching. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's keep moving on here. I told you guys we might do a couple others. What time we got? 9:21. I'm going to move over into Chainlink because I want to make sure I prioritize it. This might not be the last altcoin I look at, but I'd want to make sure we do some Chainlink today. If that's something you love, smash that like button and subscribe. I know JT Skinner is through the moon right as we are saying this. We're looking at some interesting price action here on Chainlink. Of course, we got a nice shoot up. We just talked about this in our market open that we saw that this was the biggest mover, not only in the last 24 hours, but yesterday before that, it also had a nice little push up. Of course, when we zoom out here, let's go out to the daily chart. You guys will see it's been a minute since we did Chainlink TA, but this is something I talked about a long time ago. Traders absolutely love when they look at a chart that is doing just this with a flat top and a flat bottom that has been doing it ever since May of 2022. That means more than an entire year. We have been in a sideways trading channel where you could easily be, every time we come back down to these lower levels around $5.60, you can scoop up some more and then you can sell it off up here at 942 every single time you trade or short that. Let me take a look at this real quickly. This would be every single time you're looking at a 70% trade, even if you're only doing one-to-one. And then, of course, if you want to do it the other way and you want to short it, what would that be? Because it's not always the same. Let's see. If you were to short this every single time, you're only looking at about a 40% gain. But hey, that is still an awesome trade. Here's what we're looking at right now, though. Chainlink making some moves to the upside. I do want to point out one thing about resistance. Here we go. You guys can see, starting with this back in November, we had another touch here in April. And with this red candle at the moment on the daily chart, you got to ask the question, was this our third resistance touch? Are we going to retrace possibly just a little bit? Definitely keep your eyes on that. Let's take a look at the oscillators here on Chainlink out in the daily chart. We're getting an overbought box. That's not a positive thing. The oscillators are not crazy overextended, but they are above the 70. RSI here in the RSI prime sitting at 86. That's not the worst thing in the world. I would say when you're getting closer towards 100 is when you're really kind of not liking what you're seeing with the overextension there. But where it gets a little bit more positive, let's take our oscillators down. Let's go down to the 4 hour. In fact, let's go down to the 1 hour. I think this is when I'm going to like it a little bit better. Ladies and gentlemen, what would you call this right here? I'm going to go ahead and call this a bull flag or bull pennant. You know, I'm going to use the trend regression tool because I like that a lot better. But either way, we have a very, very clear bull flag pull. And the question is pennant or no pennant. This still gives us a push back up to where? Oh, look at that. Right back to our top resistance range that we've been using ever since back in 2022, early 2022. So this is a trade setup potentially you're watching. Maybe you're going to wait and see if you get one after we break through this resistance. You want to kind of make sure that that happens first, but could be some good money still to the upside. And long term, because I do think Chainlink is going to have itself a nice little bull market here. Easy pick'ems on another trade is when we start to break through this resistance, again, take the openings of these trading channels, move them over to breakouts. We could see Chainlink very easily sometime here next year when we get real bullish momentum come back in, pop up to almost $14. Very, very advantageous for all of you Chainlink fans. Of course, real bull market, we're still talking about a move up, setting new all-time highs right now. So if you're thinking about gobbling up some and saying, I'm going to sit this for a long time, I expect us to very easily set new all-time highs here on Chainlink. But even if we just match it, even if we only come right back up and double top on former all-time high, you're looking at a 500% rally. That is a 5.5x easily. Realistically, guys, we're probably going to be seeing more like a 10x or higher, seeing price push closer towards $100. I would imagine if it stays consistent with the rest of the altcoin space. But right now, guys, what I'm seeing on these lower time frames, I am very, very excited about Chainlink. I do want to watch to see, are we a little overextended? It's not great tradition. It's not a great practice after a fantastically green day to buy then, because a lot of times we retrace. But the fact that we are setting up a little bit of a bull pennant here makes me say, all right, be patient, wait for a breakthrough of this resistance level, and then you find a very good entry to get take profit at least up here towards $9.50. That is my thoughts on Chainlink. What time we got? We got more time. What are some other coins we should go through here? Let's take a look at Cardano. It's been a second since we did Cardano on the show.
Cardano.
I did talk about it. I did talk about this a little bit last night, though. I recorded a video for the Paul Barron Network. I also it's going to be released to our gold members here in the YouTube membership. Cardano still making some climbs here. We have a rising level of support that is very good. We have some distance between us and that support, though. So even if we move to the downside, we could catch ourselves coming back down here towards 29 cents. In fact, I believe when I was doing this TA, yeah, you're going to see a lot of support, and we see a lot of support, and we see a order block coming at that same level. So do not be surprised if we see some negativity in Cardano if we come back down towards the 29-cent level, find a bounce on this rising red line, and then we make a push to the upside. Another thing is that when you look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin sitting right on a flat level of support. Ethereum kind of sitting. Did I get rid of it? Let me pull these down. Ethereum is sitting at a rising level of support because they didn't really get a big push this week. They didn't really have a big move the way we did see with XRP and Cardano and Matic and Solana and a lot of these other altcoins that were listed in the lawsuit against Binance. So do not be surprised to see Cardano and these others lose a little bit of ground in dominance to Bitcoin and Ethereum, sitting more on support. But either way, I still think that we are making moves still to the upside. I will say, though, and again, I told you guys, when I make bad calls, when I call things wrong, I am going to be the first to admit it. You don't even have to call me out. I'll call myself out. But I also got to tell you guys when I got things right. A lot of you who are watching remember me talking about Cardano and saying that I believe that a 38-40 cent region was going to be very strong resistance. It's going to be very hard for Cardano to pop through. Well, sure enough, even after that explosive push by the XRP news, guess where Cardano topped out? Right there at 38 cents, pretty much on the exact point. TA, guys, it works. If you pay attention, I told someone the other day, I don't make the tea, I just read the leaves. And there's times where I'm wrong, but there's a lot of times I'm right. And this is just one more of those times. Let's conclude it today, though, with the biggest, the most exciting, the most fun XRP. And I say this yesterday, I say it again. Don't make me into a villain in the sense of saying I hate XRP. Guys, I love XRP. I love what's happening, but I am going to read the TA and I am going to make predictions based off of what I think I'm seeing based on the data. And sure enough, people were just so convinced that we were just going to explode and go all the way back up and set a new high for the year. I wasn't convinced. And yet you're seeing on the 4-hour chart, we did get above here. But on the daily chart, I told you guys, not closing a candle body above the 50 on the Fibonacci levels was significant. Now, we are sitting here with rising level support, just like what we just saw with Bitcoin, with Ethereum. We're looking at that with Cardano. I want to see, can XRP hold up this rising level of support? But if it does not, I do believe XRP, we're pulling back down here towards 69 cents again. And then we're within striking distance. If things get bad, that 55 cents, I'm just going to continue to beat my drums, guys. It does not mean I hate XRP. It does not mean I'm not bullish on it long term. It does not change the long-term prediction that I think XRP in this next bull market will be sitting between $10 to $12, maybe even higher. It just means for right now, after a very emotional week, emotional price action, it would make a lot of sense as the manipulators come back in and they take advantage of the traders' emotions. We suppress it back down to 55 cents, a former resistance level, and then we take off. In case I'm wrong, though, I want to make sure people understand there's also a lot of significance to the 64-cent region. In fact, right there, you're going to see a 0.4 on our 12-hour support level. I've seen many of my friends, such as Kelly Kellum, Frankie Candles, say, watch out for this area. But they even say, like, hey, 64 cents, 65 cents, that's a pretty realistic, like most people are probably expecting us to get back down towards that level. What I'm saying is I'm just going a step further and saying from a technical standpoint, it would be very bullish and make a lot of sense to come back down to this grouping of support levels that Chart Prime is giving us all the way back down between 55 and 57 cents. You know, I'll go and just say it here. I say 55 cents. I would say 57 cents suffices, and here's why. And this is the last thing we're doing for TA today on crypto. T-Shroom's going to be doing some stocks. The reason I say 57 cents is okay to me is because of these wicks we have. I told you guys we've been rejecting with candle body closes at 55 cents, but we do have some wicks poking up above. Potentially, this is one of those things that as we break down lower, people are putting in buy orders. Retail's putting in buy orders at 55 cents. This has happened to me before where I make calls early and no one else thinks it's going to happen, but then price action changes and then everyone else jumps on board. I would not be, I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it makes it all the way to 57 cents and then reverses. To me, seeing these wicks and going back in history and looking at the price action, there's no such thing as a flat level. There's more like zones. I'm going to just go in and say 55, 57 cents is kind of like a zone here that is something that I think will be retested. So maybe don't put your buy order right at 55 cents, even if you think we will kiss it with a wick. Maybe be a little more conservative, put in a buy order around 57, just in case we fall a little short of that retracement. That's not financial advice. That's more that I'm doing. A healthy suggestion. You guys do whatever you want to do with your money. That's what this channel is all about. Guys, that's all the TA I have for you on crypto today. If you guys were loving that, again, we saw some massive numbers come in here. We're back down to a healthy 120, but make sure that like button is smashed. T-shirt, let's go to Brocam here real quick. What are we sitting at currently with our likes? We're at 87 likes. Oh, my goodness, guys. That is rookie numbers. We had 170 people in here just a second ago. We should be at like 120 by now. You got to smash that like button. What about subscribers? Do we pick up any subscribers while we're doing this? I really want to give away some memberships. We picked up 3, guys. 3. We need 17 more subscribers, and we will give away 3 memberships. But you got to get us those likes and subscribes. I don't think that's a correct expression. You got to get us those subscriptions and those likes smashed to get those free memberships. Good news, we're putting Jack to sleep, so we're right on schedule. It is time to transition into our stock market open. T-Shroom, what are you seeing on the stocks this morning now that we've been open here for 2 minutes?
What am I seeing on the stocks? It was the question?
Yes. That is the question I asked, yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. What I'll do is I'll go over to my screen so that you can kind of see what I'm seeing. And then that way, I think that'd probably be the best way to do it. So let's just go ahead and slide right on into that. And there you go. Check it out, guys. This is the ES. This is the continuous aftermarket price movement for the S&P. And it has almost gotten back all the losses for yesterday on the S&P. And then now the market's open, right? So you can see that we're not roaring back. By we, I mean the indexes, the stock market is not roaring back, but it's green across the screen. Your Dow, your NASDAQ, your S&P, all green, NASDAQ leading, signaling a rotation back into risk. Guys, yesterday there was a pretty big sell-off back on the equity side. You probably felt it over in crypto as well. Hopefully you bought the dip. At least so far, you'd be proven to be true. If you came in this morning and sold, you'd be proven to have made probably a decent little scalp. If you choose to sell right now in the first 4 minutes of the stock market open, but taking a look here at energy, the natural gas is actually selling off a little bit. Those futures contracts down 1.3%. Oil is actually contradicting that, up 0.7%. So more than likely, our oil producers will be green. Taking a look here, Uniswap actually up 3.6%, and you're seeing green in the big boys. So Bitcoin up 0.2, Ethereum up 0.1, looking good there. But BNB actually leading of those 3 up 0.8. So that is some good stuff. XRP down 2.2, XLM down 3.5. So those big ISO stories are kind of cooling off today. I know XLM was really shooting up yesterday. I actually started a position because I had sold all of my XLM, and now I'm starting to build back a position in XLM. A pretty good play for ISO. Compound down 1.6, and Link cooling down a little bit from yesterday's nosebleed of a rocket to the upside. Link now trading down 3% to $8.10. So taking a look here at the AI names, FET.ai and AGIX, they're mixed. FET is up 0.9 and AGIX is down 0.6. We'll keep moving here. Pepe coin up barely, 0.6, barely for Pepe. And then Dogecoin is up 7.3%. So something right going on over at Doge, and we're going to get to it in a few minutes. It's actually part of the stories that we are going to cover. So give me just a second. We'll get over there. Metals are red across the screen. Gold and silver both selling off modestly. Not really a strong move in either one of those names. Taking a look here at your mega cap tech stocks.
What's a major CAC? I want to learn more about that.
Yeah? Okay. I bet you
Yeah.
do. Taking a look here at the mega cap tech stocks, you can see, and that is a bit of a tongue twister, guys. If for nothing else, go ahead and smash the likes for my ability to normally get that right. The mega cap tech stocks. Okay. Is green across the screen, except for this lithium producer, ALB. They're a materials producer. They're not doing too hot today. My guess that may have something to do with their internal balance sheet. Maybe some earnings is coming up. I don't know when their earnings is. But other than that, your mega cap tech stocks, I'm going to go ahead and take this off because it's only caused confusion. It has not supported anything. It's basically a little feeder for Tesla, but that is now outside of the realm of what I care about. All right, taking a look here. I know somebody in the audience was invested in ALB. I'm sure it's a great lithium producer, but it's time to move on from having that on our watch list. It's not a mega cap tech stock. So, all right, it's a materials producer. All right, taking a look here. Apple looks like it's leading the market here, other than Oracle. Oracle up 1.3, Apple up 0.8. So nothing here is showing me a roaring. Again, it's not a roaring rotation back into risk, but it is a decisive and unanimous rotation back into risk. The only name I don't have up here that I would like to see is Netflix. Let's see what is going on over at Netflix, because if that's so that's red. So it's not completely unanimous. It's a crucial part of the FANG tree family, but I'll probably need to add that to my mega cap tech stocks. Bonds are going ahead and getting bought this morning as yields come down. Your 10-year benchmark actually coming down a whole % this morning for the yield. And across the board, it looks like, yeah, things are actually interesting. Look at this. The 20 years at 4, and then the 5 years at 4. And then as you go younger, you see more unhealthiness in the yield curve inversion. That is continuing to be unhealthy. But as you get higher, you are starting to see a little bit of healing, considering that the 20-year is finally higher than the 10-year. So that's good. That's moving in the right direction. All we need is that 30-year to get up above the 20, and for all of these to get down below 3.8, which doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. Until that does, you have a perversion, you have a distortion in the bond market that is showing that basically bond traders are not wanting to invest in the long term in the United States. That's kind of the way that can be interpreted, which isn't good. All right, moving on. It's not bullish, at least. Taking a look here at the Dixie remaining up above $100. So that is, it's not great, but it's not the worst.
Yeah. It's sitting right at resistance, but it's definitely something very noticeable that people need to keep in mind. Good catch there, T-Shroom. We needed to mention that today. We're sitting at resistance, but if it keeps climbing, that's another thing that could get added to bad news for Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So on the daily, it's trying to close back in on that midline of the Bollinger Band. Let's take a look here. Well, let's give it a second to load. Get some more data here from the Market Oracle. It doesn't present too much other than it's still in a sell line under a sell rating. So you're still pretty bearish. You're still seeing that this is not in a bullish trend by any means. It's trying to find a higher high. Probably not going to find it because it just put in a lower low here. This is the Dixie again. So it's not an asset, but it's an index of the dollar. So that's, ultimately we spent a lot of time on the Dixie. It's in a spot where it's like not ideal because it's back up above 100, which is a strong psychological number. But look, it's got to overcome all of this resistance right here that was put in, that so many times, even back here, so many times 100 has kind of been that strong number of like, you shall not pass, right? And it has. Now it broke down on that news. I guess it was the ETF, the Bitcoin ETF. I can't remember exactly what the news was, but it broke down, not the Bitcoin ETF, XRP. That was kind of right around the time when the Dixie decided to go ahead and break down, and now it's trying to build back better, and it probably won't. It's probably going to get smacked here, or maybe come up to 101, get smacked by that Bollinger Band on the daily, and then come back lower. Tim, you disagree?
Yeah, it was falling before XRP news for sure. I think it has a lot more to just do with what was happening. I mean, there was, other than Bitcoin, other things were picking up momentum for sure. We also saw there's a bad correlation. Like usually we see them go opposite, and I do think we're gonna get back in that phase. But we actually saw Bitcoin and the dollar moving similarly. The emergence, though, just in case people are wondering, why is it bouncing right now and coming back up, other than having that big dip, was of course yesterday's Fed now release. We actually saw a big a candle on the 4-hour chart on that same timeline as the Fed now was released. So again, we're sitting at resistance. I'm not freaked out just yet, but I'm definitely watching the Dixie with the side of my eye while I'm watching crypto to see, again, because I'm still believing that we're moving to the upside. I think this is a more of a bounce back up to resistance. The same way, guys, I'm talking about XRP in that 55 cent region of after breaking through it, pulling back down to turn resistance into support. It's the same thing with the Dixie. We had that strong support for a long time. You break below it like a bullet through toilet paper. It's pretty healthy to go back up and retest that level and turn it back into resistance. So that's what I'm looking at right now. But it is time. We got here a couple minutes. We might not be able to get into our DGen until closer to 9:50. Let's move to community really quickly. There was a super chat given to us just a little bit ago from Eric Wallen, I do believe. He said, "Fixed it, Tim." Wow, thank you so much, Eric, and thank you for fixing it. But he also wanted to gift a membership, and that membership went to Mr. Peninsulas. So shout out to Peninsulas, now a silver member. Also shout out to Crimson Caravan Company and the Mrs. who's in. There's a lot of caravans here. We got Mrs. Crimson Caravan. We got Crimson's girlfriend. We have Crimson Caravan Company. And these are definitely all different people for sure. So that's good. And we're loving it. And we'd love to shout out our big supporters here on the Investing Bros channel. Now, I think my only announcement, T-Shroom, maybe you have something to add to this, but my biggest announcement here in the community section, and the reason why I want to give away these memberships, and the reason why I want all of you guys to be at least silver members for this next Tuesday, is because on Tuesdays, gosh, did an ad just kick someone out again, even though we didn't monetize it?
No.
That's what Crypto JMP just said. He said an ad kicked him. Oh, right. Well, we're going to keep moving on here. That's very frustrating.
There's no way.
That's very frustrating. That's very frustrating. All right. Well, someone else just said, Average Joe just said YouTube keeps dropping the stream. Ninja Glock just got kicked off and went to some BS video for someone else. YouTube must hate the Investing Bros. What did we do to them? I don't know what we did to them. We've been the nicest tenants. We even built a whole new room for YouTube.
Yeah.
Down there in Florida. So I don't know what the heck happened there, but I'm going to go ahead and continue with my announcement because it's important. Guys, you need to be a silver member, and here's exactly why. In this next Bro Time, Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we'll be doing our Bro Time. We'll be talking crypto, answering questions, but it's going to have a special twist because T-Shroom and I are going to do a Hot Ones edition. We're going to get some wings. We're going to get some high levels of hot sauce from the local Publix, and we're going to see how far we can make it taking bites. Hopefully it's really hot. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna be the same level as I've seen some ridiculously hot wings over on the Real Show Hot Ones, but we're gonna see how well Bro Time goes, and we might do some more things like that. But if you want to see me and T-Shroom suffer on Tuesday, you got to be a silver member. Yeah, come in and join our Bro Time. Well, guys, this is very, very frustrating that YouTube is kicking us off. We did everything correct today. We had no technical difficulties. T-Shroom and I have run a very flawless, classy show, and YouTube is trying to FUD us out. They will not prevail, though, because it is time to jump into a couple of headlines, one of which, of course, has to do with Dogecoin, has to do with Elon, has to do with Bitcoin. T-Shroom, what are we looking at this morning?
Well, going over to my screen, Tim, which I think would probably be the best way to cover these headlines, I'll just show my screen.
Top 10 way for sure. Yeah,
that way you guys will be able to see it. Tesla removes Bitcoin but keeps Dogecoin as payment option. And if you take a look here, it says that previously rumors circulated in the crypto community that Tesla had added both Bitcoin and Dogecoin to its payment page source code. However, it was later confirmed that the two cryptocurrencies were present in the source code as far back as January 2023. Despite discontinuing Bitcoin payments in the past, Tesla apparently did not remove the corresponding code, and Wu Blockchain has confirmed that these rumors are true. So if you look down here, you can see that under crypto, Dogecoin is in the source code, but Bitcoin is not. So Tim, I want to throw this over to you. What does this mean for Bitcoin? And do we need to sell it all right now?
Yeah, the answer to that is no. I don't think we need to sell it all right now. And it should be a nothing burger because when you really think about it, who the heck was buying Teslas with Bitcoin or Dogecoin to begin with? It shouldn't be that big of a deal, but here's the only thing. And I'm hoping it ends up being a nothing burger. In fact, I'm predicting it ends up being a nothing burger. But the reason for doing so is this stupid age-old accusation of Bitcoin and proof of work that it is bad for the environment. Of course, Tesla, being a car company that's completely electronic, supposed to be saving the planet, forget the fact that charging stations can be just as bad as using gas. But we'll keep going on here. They want to make sure to keep their brand clean, and they are once again removing Bitcoin based off of that argument. Now, again, how many people were using Bitcoin in the first place? Not a big deal. But it is the headline. And I told you guys this story last year. One of the reasons why my dad initially thought, I don't even know if he actually got into Bitcoin. I don't think he ended up doing it, but he almost did. And you want to know the reason why? Because he heard that Elon Musk liked Bitcoin. But then when Elon Musk came out in May of 2021, this is a couple years ago that this happened. When he came out and said that they were dropping it, my dad was a little bit like, well, like my dad's not even an environmental guy. He was just like, well, I don't know how, Bitcoin's going to make it. Like he was thinking about it from an investing perspective. Like people might not want to invest in it if they think it's bad energy, yada, yada. The amount of power that Elon has, not just on Dogecoin, and that's why Dogecoin is having a great morning today in crypto. The power that Elon has is just still ridiculously out of control. And to be fair, he didn't come out and smash Bitcoin. In fact, we had some good news from him that Tesla and SpaceX, they didn't sell a single one of their Bitcoins in Q2. That's good. They have a lot of Bitcoin. He still owns Bitcoin. But it is the headline itself that could have a somewhat negative perception. Again, hoping it's a nothing burger, but you do have to, from an investment standpoint, whether you agree or disagree, take into account when Elon or any of Elon's company do things, they have repercussions on price action. In this case, removing Bitcoin from the Tesla purchasing possibility could be negative on Bitcoin. And of course, that pairs with, I told you guys, this is also a big deal of like, we had momentum. We're sitting on support, but can we close this week out green? Or is this week going to close red and confirm a bearish divergence that then does send us back down to that $28,000, maybe $27,000 level? I don't know what's going to happen here, but this isn't necessarily the greatest news for Bitcoin. Best case scenario is nothing burger. It looks like YouTube is continuing to FUD us out. I don't know why. YouTube, I don't know why you don't like us. I wish you liked us and you were nice to us, but people, thank you for your persistence to come back in and stay involved here in the video. T-Shroom, any other thoughts you have on that story? Are there any other stories before we bring in our special guest for today?
Yeah, there's a couple stories that we'll just shoot through super quickly here, guys. The U.S. Justice Department to double its crypto team targeting ransomware crimes. This is overall a good thing. I mean, there's criminals out there, as we know, in the crypto space, running scams, running all kinds of stuff. The Computer Crime and Intellectual Property section and the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team for Intellectual Property. So Intellectual Property and Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team are getting an expansion. That's overall positive. If you're not a criminal, right, this should be a good thing. Now, you could say, well, I kind of don't want government being the one doing the enforcing in the crypto space. It should be the blockchains, the power of strength of the security of these blockchains and decentralization. That's probably a strong argument as well. But overall, things, the government's going to government, and it looks like they're governmenting in the right direction. I'll put it that way. Also, on the contrary, across the pond, and then a little bit to the south, wholesale CBDCs would improve cross-border payments, French central bank tests show. So the narrative over there in the EU is actually showing that they're looking into CBDCs a little more. And as we know, it was Marie Lagarde, I think is her name, who's kind of the bigwig over there at the EU Central Bank. There was some video of her that got leaked that they are actually looking to launch a CBDC in October. I don't think that the narrative is there yet in the media. I don't live in Europe, so I don't know. But ultimately, I don't think it's there yet. But maybe the European psychology is actually ripe and ready for a CBDC. We shall see. Taking a look here at our last story. Oh, there's something. Why NASDAQ backed out of custody is bad news for crypto. I read this, guys, really quick. There's a lot of stuffing, but ultimately this is kind of the sentence that matters. This action portends that much of the industry might be on its way to nowhere if the current regulatory regime stays in place. So just kind of going ahead there and reinforcing, as we've seen time and time again, that the regulatory framework needs to change in order for us to get broad-based adoption from institutional investors and from everybody who's been on the sidelines of crypto up until now due to a lack of regulatory clarity. All right, so that's going to go ahead and wrap out our stories section. There was one more about the White House securing voluntary pledges from Microsoft and Google to ensure AI tools are secure. But there's probably more to kind of chat about that than there is to actually dive into anything that's going to move the market. So let's go ahead and introduce our awesome guest. How are you doing today, my man?
It is definitely time for some DGen. What's going on, dude?
Yeah, what's up, guys? It's good to be on the show.
It's Crypto Grind, and his link is in the description. You can go check out his Twitter right now.
Yeah, well, real quick, we're going to get into some picks here. We have about 9 minutes left, Crypto Grind. But let's hear a little bit about you. Where are you located? How long have you been in crypto? And let me see, what's the last question I want to ask you? How high does Bitcoin get in 2023? That's the 3 questions you got to answer, and then we'll jump into these DGen picks.
So first one, located all the way down south in South Africa. I have been in crypto for about 5 or 6 years now, give or take. Started off very slow with getting into a couple of coins that one of them landed up bragging. And that's pretty much the reason why I actually started this channel, was to help everybody actually understand the crypto space. And the last question, where do I see Bitcoin? My prediction is probably between 120 and 150,000 is where I would see Bitcoin going to at the height of the next bull run, its all-time high.
Very nice. I'm liking. That's a good answer right there. Very solid answer. Well, let's jump into it. This is your first time being here. The very early segment we have here. We just done it last couple of weeks. But what are the DGen picks that we need to know about, Grinds? What are you liking? And potentially, what are some things you've seen other people raving about that you're saying, hey, guys, pump the brakes on this? Of course, this is not financial advice. We just want to hear what your brain is thinking about. And then the rest of us can do whatever we want to do with our money. What you thinking?
Yeah, so I have a couple of coins that I'm watching very closely, and grid projects. First one is it's called Morpheus Network. I think it is going to have an extremely good bull run. The reason being, it's in the supply chain area. The last time, the only real supply chain coin was VeChain, and we all know how well VeChain did. Morpheus Network improves on VeChain because it is interoperable. Where VeChain, you have to be on the VeChain network. Morpheus, it's agnostic, so you don't even need to be on the blockchain. You can run things through the Morpheus network itself, and it automates everything on the supply chain. You can have smart contracts going to reorder stock. You can automate payments and everything like that. So it has really, really good utility behind it. And that's a lot of the coins that I look at. I like to see utility before I want to go into a project, and I feel comfortable that the project is actually going to be doing well. Another great thing about Morpheus, they have some insane partners, and it's not just little pictures stuck on their website. They are real life partners. They have Microsoft, Amazon, DHL, and that's just to name a few. Their partners, their list is absolutely huge. They are very slowly growing, but it's the company itself is doing extremely well. So I think that this is going to do very well. Its market cap at the moment is only sitting at 53 million. So I think it's got a lot of growth potential, especially where we know what VeChain did. I think VeChain was over 10 billion in the last bull run. So how high this can go, I think it is probably going to outperform VeChain, in my opinion. And this is one of the picks that I think everybody should have in their portfolio to a certain extent, because it is going to do so well. And the next one that I have on my list here is a project. It's a metaverse project. A lot of people who do watch me will know that I'm not necessarily super bullish on metaverse. I think there's better places where you can invest your money, but I think metaverse projects are still going to do well. And I like to look at projects that have solid utility, solid teams, and everything else behind it. And this Games for a Living, GFL, is one of the few that I think ticks all those boxes and meets all of those criteria. The team behind it are all well known in the gaming industry. They come from various backgrounds, but a lot of them are from Blizzard, one of the biggest gaming companies in the world. Their CSO was actually the founder of EA Sports back in 1982.
It's in the game.
So they actually understand the gaming industry really, really well. And it's not just about the games. They're actually creating a platform where other gaming developers can deploy their games onto their network. And what's also great about this is that the games don't have to be fully on the blockchain. They just have to have space where it's just a marketplace for games. So for your battle passes, for your NFTs, or whatever the case is, that can just be situated on the blockchain. So the game can still be Web2 based, but their marketplace can be Web3 based. So they're sort of bridging that gap where a lot of the metaverse Web3 projects don't do that. And they even have it in their roadmap where they're looking to build games for consoles. So it's not just something that you're going to log on onto your PC. You're going to have a PS5 and an Xbox version of the same game that you're going to be able to play and connect onto the blockchain. So they've got some really good, ambitious ideas around this project. And it's the reason why I think that it's going to do extremely well. Only market cap at $12 million. And we know how well Gala did in the last bull run. So I think this could seriously match Gala and maybe even outperform it as well. So that's the reason why I say Games for a Living is one that you should definitely be checking out. And the last one here in terms of DGen picks is a project called Relio Network. It's a niche that I think is going to do very well in the next bull run, and is all around the tokenization of real world assets. So essentially, they're focusing a lot on property and some stocks as well. But essentially, you tokenize your stocks. So if you want to raise capital for something, you can tokenize your building. You have your investors who invest into this project through the blockchain, but it is backed by something that is real. It's not just imaginary. You have a building that you are buying into as part of your investment. And of course, anything that comes out of it, you get any of those returns. And with a market cap of only just over $1 million, I think it's a steal. I think in the next bull run, you probably find that maybe $100 million is a low cap. So this could be a 100x play, where a lot of people are not really looking at the real world asset pick right now. It's a bit more of a boring play than some of the other sort of more exciting crypto spaces out there. But I still think that real world assets is one to be looking at, and Relio Network is right up there with one of the better projects that I think people should be looking at. In terms of projects that I would tell people to pump the brakes, it's an unpopular opinion. I think I'm one of the few, and that would be Casper Network. I do think that it is going to be doing well, but in terms of a long-term
real quick, I want to make sure because you, with your accent from South Africa, Casper or Caspa? Caspa. Okay, good.
Yeah, so I think Casper Network, the website looks great. It looks shiny. They say a lot of nice things. They solved the trilemma, but they're going to the community for fundraisers. They're doing Kickstarters. Sometimes they did it way back where they wanted to improve their network. And for that reason, I'm not so convinced. If you have a real solid project, they get these VCs that go in and invest. Why don't they have any VCs investing in this, and why they're going to the community for a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe or whatever it was, where you have other layer ones that are established like a Cardano that will do very well. I know that it's sort of lower down on everybody's list, but in terms of market cap, Cardano is actually lower than Casper. So for that reasoning alone, Cardano will probably do better. I just long term, I think Casper might do well, but long term, I don't think it's the play in terms of layer ones. I think Cardano will outperform it. I know that it's an unpopular opinion in the crypto space. There are a lot of people talking about it, but I think they just do well because they've got a lot of marketing behind them, where some of the other crypto projects fail from that perspective.
Very, very interesting stuff. Well, this has been an awesome interview, man. Thank you so much for coming on here. Again, if you guys want to follow him, go check out the link down below. He is Crypto Grind. You don't want to miss anything he has. Guys, that's all we have for you in today's show. It is Friday, which means it's the last show of the week. We will see you guys on Monday morning, and hopefully, let's be kind real quick. YouTube, thank you so much for giving us a platform. Thank you so much for letting us come on here. Please stop kicking off our viewers while we're live. Let them watch the whole episode in peace. We're going to respond with gratitude rather than complaining, YouTube. Please do that. Guys, on your way out, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We did get to 126 likes, which means we still needed another 24 to get to 150. But next week, I'm believing it. Next week, guys, we easily easily can get that 150 likes while live, especially with YouTube's help. And then also hit that subscribe button, guys. We got 5, I believe, today, one of our higher view of subscriber days, but we can't just be giving these memberships out willy-nilly. We need something from you guys, and that's 20 subscribers in a show. Make sure you come back. Tell your friends this weekend. Get them all here. We'll see you guys on Monday morning, same time, same place. You guys have a fantastic weekend.
Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms News got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.